Hello, everyone. My name is William Smith, author of Oil Rich, A Brief History of Guyana and Why the U.S. and China is Interested. So, during the Guyanese election, I've been doing a lot of talking about voting and picking different candidates and just kind of looking at the benefits of the dynamics of these candidates. And what I really want to highlight is understanding why Guyana right now is so impactful to what's going on in the US and why the US elections are so important to the future of Guyana and to the future of US, right? So before I get into all those dynamics, I want to talk about what we're seeing in the US with immigration. They have this enforcement group called ICE, and right now they were in the communities, and currently ICE agents are in the airports. And so I'm wearing this "No ICE at the Polls" because midterms are coming up, voting in different states with local elections, and you're hearing things in the news about the Voting Rights Act being amended and changed. And so my concern is that we will see ICE agents at the poll. And I went to this website called noiceatthepolls.com, purchased this shirt. So I'm just saying that for you US citizens, write to your congressperson, write to your state legislators that we don't need ICE agents at the polls. And so if you're doing petitions in your neighborhoods, let's try to petition so we don't have ICE agents at the polls. So I just wanted to give that little shout out to noiceatthepolls.com, representing this shirt, because a lot of it has to do with our voting. Our votes do matter as we see what's going on in the US. Voting does affect everyone's life. You see this in what's going on in Guyana right now, too. Voting affects everyone. So we have to utilize our rights and go vote. And that's why there's so much focus on having people off the voting rolls or voter suppression. So just be aware of your rights and understand how voting is important. So why am I tying all this in to oil and what's going on in Guyana and what's going on in the US and what's going on in Iran and what's going on in Venezuela? Because it's all tied together. I want you to understand this. What's going on in Iran is really going to benefit Guyana and the US. And this is the plan that no one's talking about. No one's talking about how the US has one of the highest oil reserves in itself. Canada has one of the highest oil reserves. Guyana, oil reserves. Venezuela, oil reserves. So if you notice, the rhetoric has been about Canada being part of the US, right? Now, if you are someone who's been studying oil and understanding the dynamics and the developments of oil and OPEC and these relationships that's been going on in the Middle East, then it makes sense what's going on in Iran. You disrupt the Middle East, you create confusion, you make it very unstable. Because we all know the Strait produces about 20% of the world's oil. And so if you disrupt all of that by having everyone in that region be destabilized, then the number one oil producer would be coming out of the Western region, which will be under the controls of the United States. Think about what I just said. Venezuela, Guyana, Canada, and the US being the authority over all those countries and being able to regulate their oil. Think about it. As everybody's focusing on Iran, this new world order and new oil power is being formed. And so that's why it's important to vote, be informed, and pay attention to geopolitical dynamics that's going on around you. Because this move right now is what is going to secure the new world order and the new U.S. influence. So as everyone is paying attention to Iran and the destabilization of the Middle East, America is putting together a dominance within oil producing. So this is just something that I've been studying for a while, looking at oil, mainly looking at the development of Exxon, and really looking at how this destabilization in the Middle East and what we're seeing in the Strait is more strategic than anyone probably would ever imagine, because everyone's looking at the Middle East and everybody's like, well, what's going to happen and how are we going to get oil at a cheaper price? And the countries who are the most concerned is China, Russia, those BRICS countries that had an angle to try to surpass the American dollar. But now there's another play, because now you have to worry about how are you going to get your energy. And if you back your dollar by energy, because we know these other countries are trying to back their dollar by gold, but if you don't have energy, then you're going to have to redesign your whole infrastructure. And we know oil is the major supplier of energy. So I just want you all to think about this. My name is William Smith. I'm the author of Oil Rich. I will be doing more videos. Please, if you're in the U.S., register to vote. Go out and vote. Also, write your state legislators. We don't need ICE agents at the polls. So support noiceatthepolls.com. Once again, William Smith, author of Oil Rich, A Brief History of U.S. and why China and the U.S. are interested in Guyana. It's bigger than you thought. Think about it. Maduro, Venezuela, Guyana, all those Gulf states that thought they were going to be protected from Iran. Have a great one.